What is up? Welcome back to at 2024 War Room on X. Hey, I got some. I was really thinking today about where we're at in Iowa. I'm like, where we're at because I know Trump had a big lead, and I'm looking at Iowa right now. No, I'm in New Hampshire. My bad. Let me go over to Iowa. I'll get to New Hampshire in a minute. It's on a 538. So Trump is up by 33. So Trump 50.5, DeSantis 17.4, Haley 9.8. Ramaswamy 5.7. So Trump up 33 still in Iowa. And I get it. If you're a Trump or if you're a DeSantis supporter, or Haley supporter, or Ramaswamy supporter, you're probably saying, these polls are trash. Nobody believes the polls. What's this? And I get that. I mean, we've seen historically how the polls can be off. We've seen in 2022 there was supposed to be a red wave. There wasn't no red wave. Barely anything of wave at all. And then you look at 2016, obviously with Trump beating Hillary, that was obviously 99% of the polls were off, except for Trafalgar Group, I think it was, that actually had Trump winning. But if you look at the Ron DeSantis campaign right now, and I'm speaking as someone that thinks Ron would be a very good president. I think Ron has been an excellent governor. I think his campaign for president got off to a pretty slow start. I think it's really come on in the past 5-6 weeks. I think he's been responding on X. When he tweets out on X now, it's more direct at Trump. It sounds more original. It doesn't sound like some staffer wrote it. It sounds more, it's just better, right? I think it was more robotic before. I didn't really get it. But I think his second debate was better than the first debate on Fox Business, the second one. And then I think that just the way he's talking on interviews, the way he's responding, and I mean, hell, him sending a plane over to Israel, a day or two ago to pick up some Americans is outstanding, right? I mean, how could you disagree with that? So a lot of good things going on, but the one primary thing I'm talking about is that I keep hearing that it's Iowa or bust for DeSantis. Basically, it's like he's putting the stake in the ground in Iowa. And I guess their campaign's view is that it's going to propel him to the nomination. It's going to get his campaign going and whatnot. But when I started thinking about that, I'm like, well, does Iowa winner usually win the president's or the nomination for president on the Republican side? And so I didn't think it did, but I went back and looked a little bit. So if you go back, I'm going to start off in 2016. Who won Iowa? Ted Cruz, right? Did he win the nomination? No, Donald Trump. 2012, who won Iowa? Oh, who won Iowa? Oh, yeah, Rick Santorum. Did he win the nomination? No, Mitt Romney won, right? 2008, who won Iowa? Mike Huckabee. Well, who won the nomination in 2008? Oh, John McCain. Okay, I go back to 2000. Who won the nomination in 2000? George W. Bush. Who won Iowa? George W. Bush. Well, hey, you got to go back to 2000 for a non-incumbent Republican candidate that went on to win the nomination on the Republican side. So you got to go back all the way 23 years to 2000 for that to happen. And then you go back to 96, you got Bob Dole, he won Iowa, and then he won the nomination. So now you got two. Then you go back to 1988, right? Because 92 was an incumbent year, George H.W. Bush. You got to go back to 88. Who won Iowa in 1988? Bob Dole. Did he win the nomination? No. George H.W. Bush. Then you got to go back to 1980. This is the one that gets me here. Who won Iowa in 1980? George H.W. Bush. And I think everyone knows who won the nomination in 1980. Ronald Reagan, right? And he went on to win the nomination and win the presidency in a landslide. So that's 2 out of 8 times since 1980, a non-incumbent on the Republican side went on to win the nomination. So that's a 25% clip. So my thinking is that, is Ron DeSantis putting too much into Iowa? I mean, it doesn't seem to me, if you look at the history, that it's really a game changer. Should he be putting more resources into South Carolina, New Hampshire, or is it just Iowa or bust? Because Iowa typically doesn't propel you to the nomination. Okay? So, say what you want. Maybe his strategy works. Maybe he's one of the 25%. Maybe it's this or that. I'm just saying that if you look at the other states right now, 33 down, and say what you want. Maybe it's trash. I just don't think they're all trash, but, think what you want. 33 down in Iowa. South Carolina, he's number 3. You look here, he's down by 34, number 3 in South Carolina. You go look at New Hampshire. Let's go look at that. He's down by 35, number 3 in New Hampshire. Haley at number 2, 13.9, and then Trump at 45.4. So, obviously, he's polling better in Iowa, but he's still down by quite a bit. So, folks, I don't know what could happen. I mean, this is the craziest primary I think we've ever seen. I don't think we've ever seen these kind of leads by a candidate. I mean, I don't think we've ever had a ex-president running in a non-incumbent year. I mean, it's kind of uncharted waters. You got Trump running, who was a former president, who's not the president right now, running for president. So, and obviously with everything going on with President Trump with regards to 4 indictments, who knows what the hell could happen? I mean, could be wild. I mean, he could get convicted during the primary. I mean, it might be Super Tuesday in March, and this guy's like getting convicted. I mean, we don't know. I don't know. I mean, he could be. I don't know. Is he going to go to jail? Is he going to go to house arrest in Mar-a-Lago? I mean, we don't even know. It's really crazy. We don't know what's going to happen. And then the fact that he's really not campaigning much. I mean, the one thing I loved about Trump in 2016 or 2015 was he was campaigning his ass off. I mean, this guy was everywhere, every debate. And now he's obviously different strategy. And he's got a big lead, but, I always get concerned. If I would have a big lead, I think I would be a little concerned. Like, if I'm in, a football game, I'm up by, 20, 25 points, and it's halftime, I'm still going to play just as hard in the third quarter. And I feel like Trump he's in a prevent defense. So I don't know. Anything could happen. But I really think Ron DeSantis might be making a mistake just putting all his emphasis on Iowa. And they might argue they're not, but from everything I hear, he pretty much is. So that's all I got, folks. If you like what you hear, follow me at 2024 War Room here on X. Thank you, and have an outstanding rest of your Monday. Thank you.